Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I am Mounty Curl, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Weekly State of the Game Recap. That's right, it's the part of the show where we go ahead and give you the news and recap the state of the game for the week of April 27th, 2017. And let's go ahead and get on with the PTS 2 patch notes changes because there is a lot of stuff to cover. Now, mainly hipfire has been and still is a very important and consistent discussion since the release of Last Stand. While they want to go ahead and look at hipfire as a whole for future updates, for the time being, they're going to go ahead and address the most pressing matter and that has been reported by the community, and that is the hipfire aim assist when using a controller. Aim assist will no longer be activated when players hipfire with a controller. Thank goodness, because that was one of my main complaints when I was doing it. It's why in a lot of my videos you see a lot of garbage potato shooting, and that is a blessing in disguise. Thank goodness, because especially if you use a shotgun, you will know that hipfiring with a shotgun will flip you upside down, spin you around, and make you land on your ass. So, and on another note, the OMG M249 saw has been found in the PTS. This is a new weapon. I'm sure it'll be just as underpowered as the rest of the light machine guns that nobody else uses, but they have gone ahead and removed it from the game, from the pre-made character on the PTS, and it is a work in progress slated for a release in a future update. The changes to Nimble, the Nimble changes on the PTS have generated a lot of feedback and discussion from the 5 players that have been playing on the PTS. I'm sure there's more players on the PTS than that. There's probably about 20 players that have played the PTS, but we'll go ahead and get into that a little bit later. And they found that they were agreeing with the players. Massive agreed with the players, mentioning that the combination of the heal over time and the restriction of forcing players to stay in cover has proven too strong. Really? Making players stay in cover for a cover-based shooter, that seems a little strange. But they've decided to remove the stay in cover condition. That way they can go ahead and pop up and just heal over time while they're running around and let the heal run. You know, at least it'll be useful. That's the one thing that to take away from that. The Nimble, the requirement to stay in cover to receive the heal has been removed. So there you go. Nimble is now useful once again, and you can go ahead and use it. Airburst Seeker Mines, this is probably one of the biggest changes right now. Finally, they have announced that their intention to change the damage of Airburst Seeker Mine and move some of it from burst to fire. They didn't actually implement this change in the first iteration of the PTS, contrary to what was mistakenly written in the patch notes. They have, however, indeed removed the stagger and also modified the fire effect to become a real fire status effect that can be cleansed by the player. Looking at the feedback and their own experience in the PTS, they believe, massive, that the changes might actually be enough to bring Airburst in check without penalizing players who invest in skill power too much. So there you have it. They are going to keep Seeker Mines the way they are. They're just removing the stagger effect. There are a lot of people clapping their hands right now in the emote screen, but they will go ahead and keep monitoring the situation. But right now, they're not considering any further changes. So the meta will stay the same. It'll be Deadeye versus Seeker in the next update. But so Airburst Seeker Mine damage was not changed in PTS 1 and will remain unchanged for 161. Stagger effect was, however, indeed removed. The fire effect has been reworked into a real status effect that can be cleansed by med kits, and this was a change that was already implemented. Let's go ahead and go over the bug fixes. They fixed a bug where grenade types would change position randomly on the grenade wheel. Holy crap. Did you just hear that? Did you just hear that? Grenades will stay in the same position. That is amazing. I'm flabbergasted that is being fixed. I mean, if there was one bug outside of the med kit bug to be fixed, that would have been it. There is nothing worse than changing grenades or respawning and having the grenades like change on you. It was absolutely horrible. So let's go ahead and keep moving on. We can discuss that all afternoon. I mean, that is amazing. They're actually fixing that. You should come back to the Division. If you're watching this, come back to the Division just because they're changing that. That is amazing. All right, they fixed a bug where items could be marked as junk in the stash menu. They fixed the pecan talent that would only work on NPCs and not on players. They fixed a bug that would create a delay when trying to deconstruct an item that was part of a loadout from the stash. The appearance vendor menu couldn't be closed when it was empty. Maybe that's a legacy bug from the earlier when Premium Vendor was still there. They went ahead and fixed a bug where acquiring new vanity items where the amount of new items would also show on the pouch tab. They fixed a bug when comparing items at the vendor menu when the stats displayed for the items equipped could be incorrect. They fixed a bug where missing sounds in the loadout interface. They fixed a bug with buttons working inconsistently in the loadout interface. They fixed a mobile cover become invisible to the player. So you throw out your mobile cover, it would disappear. That was a fun one. Went ahead and reported that myself. They fixed a bug where players could not be healed by first aid if they are damaged while in the radius of the skill. Shock, surprise that there's another first aid bug. Bug in survival where a group or two would be disbanded if one member would be disconnected and reconnect immediately. They fixed a bug where players joining a session in progress would not see any player information on the matchmaking screen. NPCs a landmark. The boiler would not respawn after a contamination event. They fixed a reward pop-up would not always appear when clearing a landmark. And just for you PC people, they fixed bugs where you would not receive a loadout warning when dismantling an item using the drag and drop method, and they fixed a bug where the players would not receive any feedback when trying to switch to a loadout that has insufficient backpack capacity space when using the key bindings. And that's really all of the PTS2 stuff that they went ahead and changed, and they went on to talk about Elite Task Force Charlie as well. I don't know a whole lot of people. I personally can't make Task Force Charlie. I am in Las Vegas during that time for another task force, but the same procedure as before. Some players will be invited to Reflection Studios in Newcastle, so go ahead, get your applications. The application is open now. The workshop will be 4 days long, and the topics will be Year 2, 1.7, and 1.8. This ETF is earlier in the development cycle, so they will have a bigger impact on the stuff. And the dates that you all have been waiting for, it will be May 23rd to May 26th, 2017. If you don't have a passport, then don't even bother applying because you are too late unless you pay that $300 rapid passport fee that you could get somewhere, and sometimes those things are scams, but that's pretty much it. So there are lots of things in this one. I'm very interested to see what the PTS is. I encourage you all to download the PTS and get out there and start helping us test this. It's very disheartening going in there. I can't even get a game of Last Stand going because there's only like 2 people going on. It is probably the best time to figure out if you like 1v1 because you join a Last Stand match and you are literally 1v1ing. You could 1v1 the whole time. It is basically 1v1 in the Last Stand right now. So I would encourage you, go get into the Last Stand, go 1v1 to your heart's content. If you ever wanted to know what a PvE Dark Zone looks like, go do that now. There's nobody in the Dark Zone in the PTS. Go do that. You'll find that there are lots of things that you can do, lots of fun to be had right now on the PTS. If you ever wonder what the game would be like if you were by yourself the whole time, this is what it's like. So anyways, that's been my time. Thank you so much for watching this. This has been a State of the Game recap with the main 2 topics being PTS2 and the Elite Task Force Charlie that is coming up. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like on it. We're still going to be doing Division videos. Infamous is still playing Division videos, and I am actually putting together my own task force of some of the current YouTube content creators, if I can go ahead and get them. If you are a YouTube content creator and you want to be part of sort of a panel in the future, then go ahead and contact me. I'm going to be going ahead and basically moderating a panel of probably between 5 or 6 people to find out what it's like playing the Division right now, where we want to see it going, and things that you would change to make it better. So anyways, that's my time. I am Mounty Curl. For all of us here at the Division, let's talk. We'll see you guys in the Dark Zone, in the PTS, or wherever it is. In the ETF Charlie? Perhaps not. Agent out.